In today's episode of the Grab Bag series, I'm going to show you the ones I got done the other day, and I'm going to grab another handful. So that episode is coming right up. Please stay tuned. Hello everybody, and thanks for coming back for another video. This is Dave, and I am so glad you joined in with me today. Take a look at these knives, and we'll grab another handful to work on. So if this is your first video watching this is a series I created where I randomly grab a handful of knives out of a bag that all need work of some kind or another. And then I go to work and fix those knives up and try to get them all done in 24 hours. In some cases, the knives need a little bit more work. In some cases, they don't really need too much other than a little cleaning, you know. And that's the nice thing about it. I used to struggle with picking out which ones I wanted to work on one day to the next. This way, I grab them and that's what I'm working on. I don't even think about any of the other knives. If you take 100 pocket knives that all need work and you lay them out on a bench, you just get overwhelmed. It's like going into a restaurant that has a 15-page menu or whatever, and you just can't decide what you want to order because there's just too much to choose from. And that's kind of the same thing when it comes to working on these knives. This way, these are the ones I'm working on, and it's different every day. I'm not putting handles on knives one after the other. I'm not changing out blades one after the other, making new blades, doing whatever, you know. I'm doing something a little bit different each day, and it enables me to get creative with some of them too. And that's the part that I really like, is taking an old rusty knife that's missing handles and deciding on what kind of handle material to use on it, you know, what I want it to look like when it's done, that kind of thing. That's what I really enjoy, is the challenge to just see what I can make out of it. Now, you can take any knife out there. Perfect example, this one right here. I don't have any before pictures. This is one I picked yesterday, and it's one of those Chinese multi-tool knives. But I could take this knife, pop these scales off, put some custom scales on it. You know, I could spend an entire day working on this knife and customizing it and making it different, modifying the tools, you know, turning one tool into something totally different, that kind of thing. But in the end, time is money, and if I spend all day on this, there's no way I'm going to sell this knife for what I have in it as far as my time goes. So I take the knives that have the potential to make more money for me. I'm not out to get rich doing this by any means, but I do want to make a little bit of a profit, at least get compensated for the time that I put into them. So that being said, let's jump in and take a look at these knives that I got done. And there's the first one right there. All I did was clean it up and oil it. It had a little bit of very, very light dirt and corrosion on it and stuff. I don't think this knife was ever carried or used very much. Put some silicone oil on it. It's ready to go for somebody. Next up, we have this one right here. And this is a inexpensive. So incidentally, I put these in the order of how much time I spent on them. Not necessarily what my favorite is at the end. It's just what I spent more time working on. The ones that didn't take any work at all, hardly, like this one. And then this next one here, this Pakistan lockback, I spent a little bit more time on, and here it is right now. And that's how she turned out. It locks up very well. And the one thing that I don't have another example in front of me to show you right now, there's probably one in the bag, I'm sure, but the way I can always tell that these are Pakistan knives at a glance is they're all squared off on the brass, and the wood is always squared off, very hard edges on them. So I took the time and I sanded this one and rounded it. and smoothed it up a little bit, more like a buck is, or one of the Schrade LB series knives, more rounded and everything. Just taking a little bit of time to round it over and smooth it and polish it up and everything. And I think it makes it a better feeling knife and a better looking knife, just doing that. So there's that inexpensive Pakistan lockback, and it's done. And the next knife I have to show you fine folks is this one right here. And this was the little Colonial 2-blade keychain knife, and it had the white plastic scales were very bad. I tried to sand a lot of the scratches out, but a lot of them were very deep, and they were still noticeable in little dark spots. So here we have it. I dyed it black. I dyed the plastic with a black PVC dye, and to kind of hide a lot of those. And I did find a pretty substantial crack in it, in the plastic, when I was cleaning it up, that I didn't notice originally. So I super glued the crack and then put some dye on it, and then I made a bail for it and put a key ring on it. And I didn't do anything to the blades other than oil them. I left all the natural patina on, just to show, you know, this is an old vintage knife. I left all that patina, and so there's that one. That's how that one turned out. Okay, and then next up we have this one right here. So this one had broken blades. Here's one of the blades that was in it. Here's what's left of the other little tiny blade. So now we have this knife. And do a little roll over here and show you. This is how it turned out. Still has some dings in it here and there and stuff. But I turned it into a single blader. I found a blade and modified it to fit. It does have a nice half stop. And so there we have it. Turned it into a very nice little pen knife. Yeah, it has this mother of pearl inlays in it. Solid brass scales. Yeah, I did have to carve out a little bit here for the relief for the nail nick so that you can access that. But there's how that one turned out. Okay, and then next up for your viewing pleasure, we have this knife right here. And oh boy, this knife was terrible. I took this knife apart and was working on it. It was almost like the knife sat in the bottom of an oil pan. It was so caked up with dirt and grease and everything. Here was the melted plastic handle scale, and look at just the entire knife was like this, down in the wells, underneath both scales. I cleaned this scale off because I used it as a template, but I mean, this one looked like that one. It was just really, really bad. So I was kind of skeptical of how it was going to turn out, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to use for the handles, and I talked to my wife about it, and she came up with this idea to use bamboo. So I went out to my stash and I grabbed a piece of dried bamboo. I grow this myself. It's giant timber bamboo, and I use it for a lot of different things. I love it. It's great to work with. It's just fantastic wood. But she had the idea to use bamboo on it, so that's what I did, and here it is. And as you saw in the picture, the blade was broke off, so I reprofiled it, and that's what we have now. And then the pen blade was very nice, cleaned up very well right there. Very good action in the knife, and it now has custom. When have you ever seen a Colonial 2-bladed jackknife with bamboo handles on it? This might be the first one. I don't know, but real happy with it. You know, even though the blade was broke off, there's still plenty of blade left on it, It's still, yeah, the blade's still a little over 2 1/4 inches long. So there's that one. Okay, now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's jump right in and grab another handful and see what we're going to be working with today. So here's my bag. Oh, incidentally, I've got over 135 more knives coming. I think about 20 of them are supposed to be arriving today. And then this weekend I'm going to be hitting the thrift stores and flea markets and looking for more. So we'll be well stocked. But for now, let's see what we can grab. You know, I'm going to reach down towards the bottom too and try to get some of these smaller ones because they like to hang up down on the bottom of the bag. And we'll see. That's a pretty good, hang on now. I'm trying to get a grip on these. There's a little one of some kind. And this is what we have right here. It's not a bad handful. We have a very interesting selection today. Let me hold them up and show you. We've got these 6 right here we'll be working on. We'll start with this little, yes, it's a money clip knife. It's a little scratched up. Got a couple little dings in it. It's a Colonial. It's marked stainless Colonial on the main blade right here. And nice little everyday carry money clip. Personal nail grooming knife money clip there to clean up. All right. Next up, we've got this big old guy right here. I'm sure it's made in China. Let's see. Oh, it opens very nice. It's a liner lock. Locks up very well. A little bit of side-to-side play in the blade. Half serrated blade. It's got one of these seat belt cutters here in the back and a window breaker thing on the back here. The handles appear to be aluminum, a black anodized aluminum. And the blade is stamped 3CR13 steel. And for those of you not familiar, 3CR13 is the Chinese equivalent to our 420 stainless steel. So this is a stainless steel. It's the Chinese version, and they can produce it very cheap and use it for blades. And it has a lot of the same properties as our 420, not our 420 high carbon steel, but our 420 chromium steel, like 420C. 420 high carbon steel has a lot more carbon in it, so you can actually get it heat treated up to 59. Actually, I think Buck can get it up to 61 or 62. They have a special process, a secret process they use. But yeah, generally you can get 420 high carbon. That's the type of 420 that I use, the high carbon version. And I actually use an industrial grade of high carbon, which is even higher than the 420 that the general public has, although I'm very limited in my supply that I've had for years, and so I save it for special stuff. Plus, it's only 50 thousandths thick, so I'm kind of limited to what I can use it on, but it makes great kitchen knives. So anyway, we've got that one to clean up. It's got a little bit of schmutz there on the blade to clean off. Lube. I may take it apart, just check it all out and make sure everything's good. And then we got another one similar to it. It doesn't have the little flipper stud here. It's got the thumb stud here, ambidextrous thumb stud. This one's a frame lock, and it's locking up very well. You can see right there, Smith & Wesson Extreme Ops. I think this is an all stainless steel knife. It's skeletonized to make it a little bit lighter weight, so it's not really overly heavy. It's got a nice feel to it. seems like a really good clip it has on it, nice and strong. The slightest amount of play in it, locking up very tight. The edge needs some work, and it needs a good cleanup there, you can see. But doesn't really need a whole lot. That'll be an easy, fun project, cleaning this one up. Smith & Wesson. Let's grab one of these smaller ones here. What is this little guy? It looks like a Pakistan-made little single blader. Looks like the wood's chipped out right here. See what the blade looks like. It's just stamped stainless on that side. This side, China. Yeah, so this is a China knife. China on that side, stainless on this side. The blade looks pretty good. Actually has a little bit of an edge to it. It has brass liners and the brass bolsters. Yeah, I think I'm going to do to this one what I did to this one. I'm going to kind of round it off, since the it's missing the chunk of wood. Actually, it's missing wood here, you can see, and it's missing wood here. So we'll see. We'll come up with something on this one here. Grab this other little tiny one. It's a two-bladed penknife. This blade here, it has the cracked ice celluloid handles on it. This one is marked, you can barely make it out, but it's Lippic, USA. Got a little bit of a crack here and here, but the blades aren't too bad. This one's been sharpened down quite a bit, but it's still good. Yeah, there's no pitting on it or anything. The spring's in decent shape. This one should clean up very nice. And then last up for today, we have this big old thing here. Looks similar to that plastic handled Pakistan knife. It has no markings on it whatsoever. This is a lockback. The blade has not been abused, over sharpened, and put on a bench grinder or anything like that. It's pretty dirty down inside. There's quite a bit of rust and stuff in there. It's a very heavy knife. It looks like this is all nickel. This knife has a lot of nickel on it. And then it looks like pack of wood or diamond wood or whatever you want to call it. Inserts there. Solid brass liners, not plated or anything. It's very, very tight. No play in it whatsoever. Locks up very well. The blade is very close to, you can actually feel it with your fingertip right there. So we'll address that issue. But there we have that one to work on. So that'll be a nice, fun, easy. So pretty easy day as far as work goes for me on these. Nothing too terribly major to have to work on, which is great because my hand's been bothering me. I had to wear my brace last night. I've been getting a lot of pain, arthritis in my hand. Got a bee flying around out here trying to get in. So I ordered some more storage cases yesterday. I picked up a few at a flea market a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to get my knife collection a little bit more organized. So I've got these plastic cases. Actually, I'll show you one right now. So here's the cases I got. I got 4 of these. They're pretty good size. They're about 12 by 14 inches. And then I cut some material, some soft material. They have really nice hinged lids. And I can't do this without them all falling out. But you can see, I cut some material and Each one will hold about 40 or 50 knives, I think, depending on how big the knives are. But I ordered some more of these. Yeah, I ordered some more of those. They're not exactly like those. They're a little bit smaller, and they're actually two different sizes. But they have the ability to put labels on them. And I can start getting this collection a little bit more organized because I just have bags and bags full, various cases and everything I have filled up with knives, and I don't like to keep them stored that way. So I think this will be a little bit better. And then when I get to the point where I'm going to start liquidating some of these knives, go through, because I am amassing quite a collection. I already had a pretty substantial collection to begin with, but I've been adding quite a few more to them doing this series. So it'll make me feel better, to get them all nice and organized. And then when I do get to the point where I'm going to liquidate them, I can use these cases to transport them to a gun and knife show, something like that, and just open the cases up to display them for sale. So we have Labor Day weekend coming up. I hope everybody has plans. Spend it with your family, do a barbecue, whatever. I think I'm going to throw a brisket on my smoker. I very rarely do that with the cost of brisket nowadays, but it's been a while since I've smoked a brisket, so I think I'm going to do that this weekend. And I hope you all have a really good Labor Day weekend, and I hope your day's going great today. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Boy, I hope a lot, don't I? All right, that being all said, thanks so much for watching. This is Dave. See you in the next one.